It's Beauty Table Talk, and I'm Renee. You can follow me at Navy Style. That's NEYBEESTYLE on Instagram.
And I am Kenda Ham, and you can follow me at Heavenly Hair by Kenda, RVA, on Instagram and Facebook. And we have our special guest with us today, Michelle Oliver.
Hi, I'm Michelle Oliver, and you can follow me at I Need to Get My Finances Right on Facebook and on Instagram.
Yes, well, thank you for joining us today, Michelle.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, so today we'll be talking about getting wealthy and staying wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
So, how did you get started?
I got started at, it was Wells Fargo, what they call it now, but it was Wachovia initially. I was a personal finance person in the bank, and that's when I received my licenses, my Series 7, my Series 6, life and health, things of that nature. And I started to do my own business back in 2005. And now I concentrate on personal finances for individuals and for business owners.
Awesome, awesome.
Cool.
So, what have you learned while helping people?
Well, what I've learned is that people think that they know what they know, but a lot of the information that they're getting is invalid, incorrect, or just not always right. And I always say to go and talk to a personal financial advisor or a personal financial counselor just to make sure that you're getting the proper information in order to get your finances right.
Oh, wow.
Amazing.
So, do you help people work on credit as well?
I don't help people with their credit.
Okay.
What I do say is to get your credit. You can always go out to online to learn how to get your credit repaired. There are other credit repair nonprofit organizations where you don't have to pay, but they're nonprofit organizations where you can get your credit repaired. And then once you're on that path, you come see me, and then I'll help you with, life insurance and health insurance, things of that nature.
Basically, where your money should be going.
Correct. Yes.
Not where you want your money.
Not where you want your money.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
All right, well, let's talk about generational wealth. What is generational wealth?
Generational wealth is when you are wealthy, and it's one or two two generations of wealthy families. So let's say if I have generational wealth, it's my parents and my grandparents passed on money to me. That goes for generational poverty when it's one or two generations of poverty. So you have my parents and my grandparents passing on their thought process and their beliefs to me. So it's two generations making it me number 3. And so it's one of those things that you pass it down, and that information or lack of information passes down to the next generation.
Wow. So is that something that can be changed?
It can be changed.
Okay.
It is oftentimes a behavioral change that it has to happen within the person. So what happens is if I go to you and you're in generational poverty and I tell you how to do better or how to build wealth, what happens is when you have the first setback, you will fall back into generational poverty. So you have to be mindful of those things.
Right. Okay.
So, how do you begin to obtain generational wealth?
Generational wealth, how do you, one thing that I always find is that in order to obtain generational wealth, you have to set what I call a foundation. And that foundation to me is life insurance. Initially, when I talk to my clients, I talk to them about making sure that their budget is fine, and that a budget is money that's coming in and money that's going out on a monthly basis. And make sure that you know what monies are coming in and what monies are going out, because a lot of times they don't know. And so when you don't know, how can you plan? Once you plan and once you've known once you know what's coming in and what's coming out of your household, then you can start looking at, okay, I want to build generational wealth. The easiest way is to get a life insurance policy and continue that life insurance policy all the way until death or until you are moving on to another policy. I say that a lot of my clients will come in and say, well, I don't believe in life insurance. And I said, well, how do you think that families are building generational wealth? Perfect example is one of my friends' neighbors that lives in their neighborhood came into $300,000 from a distant aunt
Oh, wow.
who she had only seen 3 times.
Wow.
So 300,000,
Wow.
you're just passing that money on.
Right.
That's the way you build generational wealth.
Amazing.
Wow. So it's not anything that can happen overnight. I'm pretty sure when you hit the lottery, yeah, but it's not
Right.
anything that can happen like overnight. But the most successful way is life insurance.
Life insurance. And then, of course, you can start putting your money away and thinking of ways, different streams of income.
Mm-hmm.
Some people will say, well, I have a 9 to 5. Well, 9 to 5 is not going to get you wealthy.
Right.
It'll just maintain your lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
You have to think of different ways in order for you to take your money and make your money work for yourself.
That is good. That's
Glad
good.
you like it.
So, what other services do you offer, or that can help people?
So I do life insurance. I do investments. I mutual funds, health insurance. I'm a financial planner. The one thing that I try to be cognizant of is we financial planners can't talk a lot about it over like the airways. So what I talk about most is personal finance, but I can do everything. The only thing I can't do is property and casualty insurance.
Okay.
That's the car insurance, the boat insurance, the
House.
motorcycle, house insurance. I don't do that.
Okay.
So mainly like humans, like life insurance.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, so I know people insure body parts.
Mm-hmm.
So are you able to do that?
I don't do that.
Okay.
No. Mm-mm.
Oh, people insure body parts?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like
Like
Jennifer
hands.
Lopez,
Mhm.
Really?
they said she insured her, but I'm pretty sure Beyonce got some type of insurance.
So let me ask you a question, and I don't know if you can answer this, but
Mhm.
us being beauticians, we can insure our hands?
Well, insuring, that's property and casualty insurance,
Oh.
and that's specialty insurance.
Okay.
I don't know anything about that.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna leave it
Right.
that.
Okay.
Mhm.
So okay, how can someone get their financial house in order?
So what happens is when I talk to my clients, we sit down. I
Mhm.
look at everything. I look at their taxes. If we're doing a financial plan, I look at their taxes. I look at their bank statements. I'll look at how they're spending their money,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll do a financial plan. And from there, I always say, if you don't want to come to me, it's easy to get your financial house in order. It's 3 steps, and it's I always say the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
1 is life insurance, 2 is having a savings account, and 3 is having a will.
Oh.
So the will is put into place because there is a will. So if you pass away, there's a will. The state has a will for you, but it's not going to be in the best benefit of your
Mhm.
family. So if
Right.
you want specifics to
Mhm.
happen, then the state won't know that, and they just have a
Wow.
a blanket will. So you want to get your will put in place so that if you have a home or if you have money that you can take that money, you can pass it on to your next generation. Savings account is there because you want to make sure that if in case your hot water tank breaks or if you blow a tire, then you pull from the savings account and not the money that you're
Right.
using on a day-to-day basis.
Awesome.
So a lot of people will say, oh, you hear these television financial advisors say have 2 to 3 months of personal finances, and that's pretty much true.
Right.
But in certain communities, it's very hard for that to
Mhm.
happen.
Absolutely.
So I always say put as much money as you can in your savings account that you're not going to take out.
Okay.
Because I have clients who will, or potential clients who come to me and they'll say, I put in $500 a month in the beginning of the month, but I
Right.
pull out $400 by the end.
Right.
So with that, I say only put in $100 a month. Take that $400, keep it in your discretionary income,
Mhm.
so that you can use that money. You're not robbing Peter to
Right.
pay Paul.
Oh,
Right.
wow. But talk about generational versus situational poverty.
Okay, so generational poverty. What we talked about initially is two families of poverty coming down, passing down poverty down the line. So and what you'll see some families who don't save. Just talk about poverty in general. And if your grandmother didn't save and your mother didn't save and you're not saving, you'll see
Mhm.
a
A cycle.
cycle.
Mhm.
Situational poverty is divorce, death, um, domestic violence. Those things are situational poverty where you can't help. You can't help where, okay, you got a divorce, the money is split, and now you're trying to make it happen, make things happen. Death, when you have an income coming in and the income leaves because the person passed away and there's no life insurance, that's situational poverty. So it's different situations in your life that will affect you so that you don't bring in the same amount of money or you're not making the same amount of money. There lies situational poverty. You can get out of situational poverty easier than getting out of generational poverty. But you can get out of both.
Right.
Wow. So is it more difficult for an entrepreneur to like have like life insurance and to like save versus a person that works 9 to 5?
No, it's just well, when you're an entrepreneur, you have a different mindset anyway. You're working differently because if you don't work, then you don't eat.
Right.
So, and with that, with entrepreneurs, I have a lot of entrepreneurs as clients, but you also have to think if you don't work, then you don't eat. So then the mindset is, well, I'm not going to pay this life insurance because I need to eat.
Right.
And that's not the way you think about it. You think about, well, I am going to make sure that my budget is in order so that I can pay my life insurance and so that I can pay all the things that I need. And then my savings account will back me up in case I don't have bring in that amount of money per month or something like that. So it's not different. It's just a different way of thinking. Well, it is different, but it's a different way of thinking as versus an entrepreneur can't do it because they don't work a 9 to 5.
Wow. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of, I'm gonna just say beauticians, but us being beauticians, don't have life insurance, don't have our finances in order as far as taxes and stuff like that. So, do you have any tips that can help? I guess entrepreneurs. I just say beauticians because it helps us. Save, or is there a way that we can make sure we pay life insurance and stuff like that?
Lots of tips. The beauty industry is it's a cash cow because a lot of times you're getting cash or you're getting paid every day. Even when you use the swipe cards now, PayPal or Square or whatever, the money's coming in and you see it, and it's so easy to spend it. It's like being famous.
Right.
So you get famous, you're like, oh, I got this. But when you're a beautician, what happens is when the money comes in, you're saying, oh well, I can take this money and I can spend it, but I'm gonna get more money tomorrow. It's the mindset. You have to change your mindset. That's the first thing.
Yes.
In changing your mindset, you have to know that I need to put this money away, and when I put this money away, it's gonna stay away. I say pay yourself. If you know that you're gonna get $1,000 a week, pay yourself. Whatever you need to pay yourself, and the rest of the money goes into a savings account. And you have to be diligent in doing it. And you have to start off like that. If you start off like that, if I can talk to people coming straight out of beauty school, it'll be great. But there are thousands, hundreds of thousands of beauticians and barbers out there that they're like, whatever, I got this. The other thing too is that when you're looking at, you have to itemize whatever you have every week. So that when you go in and you say, oh well, I paid myself and I paid off for my products, I paid my rent, and I have enough money that I can set aside, then you can do that. But you have to look at it. A lot of times, not even entrepreneurs or beauticians, if you don't look at your information, then you're not going to be able to know what you have going on. And then lastly, when things get tough and hard, don't cancel. I want to say at least 3 or 4 beauticians that I've had, they go back into that mindset again of that. I don't even know whether it's poverty mindset, but It's more so the cash mindset.
I
I'll
can't
get it
afford
tomorrow.
this.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can't afford it. I'll get it tomorrow, and then tomorrow turns into never.
Never.
Wow.
So.
That's good
Okay,
information.
rewind back to the life insurance.
Mhm.
No. I'm sorry. The will. Okay,
Will.
so is the will something that a person can do on their own, or should they consult with someone like you?
Yes. So I don't do wills.
Okay.
Wills are done by either lawyers, or you can go online to do to get a blanket will. You can go to Office Next to get
Oh
wills.
yeah.
You can, but I always say go to a lawyer, or even just run one by a lawyer. Some people will write information down, get it notarized. You have to get your will notarized in order for it to be legitimate. And you want to make sure that your will has everything in it. So some people may need one more than other. Will need more of a larger will, because they might have 2 or 3 homes. They might have a blended family. You want to make sure your money goes to where, I want, my mother's children to. It's just so many things you can put in your will. And if you have a specific blended family with 2 or 3 houses and land, always go to a lawyer, because it'll get chewed up in court, and you don't want to have a probate judge to look at it and say this isn't real.
Oh wow.
So it's you want to make sure that you have the right will. You want to make sure that your will is notarized, but have something. I've seen people where they've just written it out, it's notarized, and it's done. And then there are other people who just have it, 2 or 3 pages. Like my father's will was about 8 or 9 pages long.
Wow.
But a lot of it is legalese, it's us, but it works. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Go see that lawyer, y'all. Get that will done.
Or write it yourself and get it notarized.
You don't want your kids fighting.
Yeah. Oh yes.
So yeah.
Oh, the fighting. Yes, and they will fight.
Yeah.
Money brings out a lot of tension in families. I would say.
You'll see the real character in people
Yes.
when the will comes into play.
Oh yeah, and you'll see how that person felt about you.
Right.
When the will. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing too is in a will, you want to make sure that you review it just like your life insurance, because there are situations where, let's just say a husband or wife, they get a divorce, husband gets married again, ex-husband passes away, ex-wife is still in the will, ex-wife gets things.
Oh wow.
New wife gets nothing.
Right.
It can happen.
Oh wow. That's important.
Life insurance as well. Husband and wife are together. Husband and wife divorce. Husband gets, well, let's just say wife gets married again. Wife doesn't change. Wife wouldn't do this though. But wife doesn't change the beneficiary.
Right.
Wife passes away. Ex-husband gets money. New husband doesn't get anything.
Wow.
So you always have to review your financial information.
Okay.
That's
Wow.
good. It's good to talk about this stuff because a lot of people don't know.
Right? Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Wow.
So how can people get in contact with you?
So, and you can get in contact with me by going to either Facebook, I Need to Get My Finances Right, or you can go to Instagram, I Need to Get My Finances Right, or you can call me on my cell phone. It's 1-804-885-0811. And you can email me at michelle.oliver@theoliverfinancialgroup.com.
Yes.
That's great.
But thank you so much, Michelle, for sharing this great information.
Very,
Yes.
very informative.
Yes. So you guys check out Michelle Oliver. Follow all her social media platforms. Set up an appointment with her to get your finances in order and everything else.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
And don't forget to follow us at Beauty Table Talk on Instagram
Facebook,
and
subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're trying to build that up. So.
Yes. Follow.
Follow.
We follow back as well. Thank you.
Have a great financial day.